Hi everyone, this is the E-mini S&P 500 futures. I'm using a 2000 tick chart and a 21 EMA. I've got my overnight high up here and my overnight low down here. These are our key levels for the day. So I started trading at 8 Central Time, which is this area right here. And notice that we have this uptrend, break, and then a push up to a new high, and price attempts to reverse right before I started here. And so when this uptrend plays out, you can expect price to attempt to reverse. It's likely to go into a reversal pattern from here. And this is just how trends play out. They get a break and a new extreme. So of course with a downtrend, it would be a break and a new low. And so it easily could have just continued on down there. But since it didn't, and it couldn't reverse from there, even though the trend played out and it just continues on higher, you want to look for bigger picture legs. That's when you find this leg. You combine the uptrend playing out with a break and a new high, and you put that all into one leg here. Because on a bigger picture, it is one leg. And then this reversal attempt, which failed, is just the break. So you have uptrend, break, and then price is pushing up to a new high, making this second leg up. And so when you break out of the overnight high here, it's very likely for price to attempt to fade. So you don't just want to buy the breakout when it closes out. You want to wait for 2 attempts to fade, because price is likely to attempt to fade. So if it makes 2 attempts and still can't fade, then you're more likely to just get the breakout. And so here we get first attempt, second attempt, and then it holds on top of the overnight high. It starts to get a little bit choppy here, and then we push on up, bullish bar. In the moment there, I had a little hesitation. Notice that the entry is a little bit above the signal bar. It's supposed to be 1 tick above, but notice here it's at 22, and that's because little hesitation here. We push on up here. I didn't want to enter above that bar. I wanted to get in as close as I could to the ideal entry all the way down here. So little limit order, it pushed on up here. Yeah, I could have gotten in down here 1 tick above, but I just couldn't do that. Okay, yeah, I was just seeing the exact tick above area. So anyway, we push on up here. Just a little bit late entry, but that's always fine. It's not always fine, but in this case here, it's not a big deal because you have plenty of room to that measured move here, and it's only a couple ticks. So anyway, we push on up here, and then we get these couple legs up. Notice we have this first leg up, break, second leg up. So when we pushed off of the overnight high from a 2-legged move, it pushed up into another 2-legged move to reach this measured move. And so when we push on through it here, you're not always going to get a perfect bounce right off of these measured moves. In this case here, it pushes on through, and a lot of times what you'll get is a 2-legged retest on the top of it. Now in this case here, you don't get that perfectly. It starts to do that. You get this retest right there, and then it starts to make a second leg down. Ideally, you'd just see a push on up and then 2 legs down, and then on that second leg down is when you get the retest. But in this case here, we push on lower here, meet this measured move. It's already pushing back below, and then it's not a clear bounce. Even though you push back above here, that's not like a hold on top of this measured move level. These measured move levels, it's common to get a reversal at them. And so if you want to go long on them, you need to see a clear retest. So considering the fact that we pushed below and started getting bearish is not a good sign to go long. So just because we pushed back above is not ideal. I would want to see a push above and then another couple legs back, another failed second entry pushing above, basically showing that it's not reversing. But in this case here, it just pushes on up and then kind of gets choppy on the way down and doesn't offer anything clear. Even though, and I want to grab this channel really quick, because at first, you draw the channel off of that low and then it holds right there, which by the way, I didn't want to go long there. Even though you have that bounce off the key entry point, so 1, 2, 3 bounces, even though it does have those 2 legs down, it's right into that measured move level. So you don't want to enter into it, and then like I said, even when it closes above, you're not getting a clear hold on top of it or anything. So it's really just not an ideal trade. Like over here, you have 2 legs back, retesting a major level with a measured move in play. At this point here, you're off of a key entry point. That's not like a super major level, but you have 2 legs back, but you're into this measured move here. You're into the big picture measured move. And so, you don't have that same momentum as this trade down here. You can expect a reversal. So it's just an iffy area. The bears want it to reverse. The bulls want the trend to hold. It's basically just a fight in this area. So just because you see it work this time doesn't mean it's going to work next time. But anyway, we push on up here. I kind of got sidetracked from exactly where I was, but we push on lower here. We get this bounce right here, Unfortunately, it's not a clear reversal pattern. I would want to see a clear reversal pattern. It got very, very choppy as well, started getting super sideways. And so we push on up here, and then notice that we make this triple top. Very clear resistance right here. Notice we have that swing there, push up here, and we make these two legs down off of it from here. And so it gets choppy right there. You get a little breakout, and then it starts to fade back in. Now you can look to get a fade, but you need to make sure that you have room to these highs right here, because this is very clear resistance. Now, we've already retested this previous measured move level. Like I said, there was no long off of it, but we did successfully retest it and push on up. So we can look to continue long, but again, you don't want to enter past this level here. And so this was a limit order trade. Notice this green bar here closing above, tick higher. Just a limit order to keep it within this high right here. And yeah, we push on through, we fade back in a little bit, and then push on out again. No clear entries, as far as fading back in or pushing back out. The bars are kind of big for how tight this range is right here. Notice it's kind of starting to chop between this channel right here and this high, and then when it breaks the channel, that's when you get that fade back in. But it's just a little bit tight in this area here, and you don't get any clear entries. Like, you don't want to take this as a first entry long or a higher low. But anyway, we push on up here and we continue in this uptrend. Now, when you get these little breakouts of this uptrend, you can look and see how it holds. And so, I was showing how it was what it was doing at first, but when I move it back here, notice that entry is off of this key entry point. And so this one is, of course, too, but like I said, you don't want to just take this higher low / first entry right into this high right here. You want to see two legs back. Ideally, what you'd get is a big push on out, and then two legs back retesting this resistance level, this support level. But you just don't get that. But we push on up here, and then we get this first entry long, second entry long, breaking this channel. Again, I can extend it to this little swing there because it pierced out more. And we pushed out here, got a little break, and price starts pushing on up. So you have a second entry long, and price pushes up, but it doesn't set up well. It gets very choppy below the EMA. You don't close above until here. And let me just draw this out really quick. So you have these two legs down. The measured move is in play. You're struggling to get above the EMA. And yeah, this is really just not a good looking trade. No clear hold. So even when you get a rush above, it doesn't matter. It still hasn't set up good. And so anyway, we push on up here. Now, I do want to show, with this uptrend, you have a small break right there. I do not look at this as a break in a new high. Like, I don't look at this and see, oh, the channel's played out, because this break is so insignificant. Now, on a small picture, it might be, pushing up to a new high and then attempting to reverse from the trend. But all that's doing on a bigger picture is making the break. And so when you get an uptrend, you have a break, you can expect prices to attempt a new high. And so clearly this was very small picture, even though it technically barely broke out there. We can still expect a new high on a bigger picture. And so we have uptrend, break, first attempt higher. Now when we rush above the EMA here, we can absolutely look to get long. We can get a failed second entry to continue higher and make that new high, but we just don't form it here. We end up finding resistance here, kind of finding some triple top. It's not perfect, but it's clearly forming some kind of resistance in this area. And then price starts pushing back lower here. Now, we don't make a good failed second entry. If we had like a push below and two clear legs back, that would be a smaller picture second attempt up, which means that we could get a smaller picture short just to ride to the other side. Of course, with the possibility of a second bigger picture leg still possible, but it just doesn't happen. That actually did happen on the NQ. The ES and the NQ, they follow each other. Not exactly, but, they somewhat follow each other. Up here on the NQ, price pushed below and made a failed second entry. It was a lot more clear. And so anyway, we push lower here. It starts getting choppy. We chop on down, and then we start this second leg up. Again, this is another area that we can look to get long to make that second leg because, again, we know that price is expected to attempt a new high, and it's very common to happen in the form of two legs. And so we're clearly forming that second leg up as soon as we get above the EMA here. But it just doesn't give us a good long to get in on it. And so we push on up. It would have been more likely to give us one had we actually reached all the way down here, pushed lower, and then just got a clear spike above and a nice hold. But anyway, it just pushes on up. We reach this measured move. Price attempts to reverse a couple times after it's met, but it ends up pushing out more, breaking out. And so at this point, the uptrend has a break and 2 pushes up to a new high. Measured move is met, and this is a great area that we can get a reversal at. Now, it ends up just getting very choppy right here. We could still get something. Right now we have these 2 legs pushing back in. We could get a failed second entry because this is a double top. If you have a double top, you just have to see how price reacts to the move down, but you can still get a couple legs back from here. And let me just draw this out. And so if you get a couple legs back, retesting this high, or not retesting the high, even if it's just a couple legs back, and then you get a good pushback below the EMA, you can still get a short. And so the uptrend played out. This is a great place for a reversal pattern. Could definitely get something soon, so we'll see how it works out. Anyway, that's going to do it for this video. I hope it helped out in some way, and thanks for watching. I'll see y'all next time.